Okay, so today is Monday, June 16th, 2025. It's been exactly 1 year since my wife, Lenée, passed away. I have thought about whether I would say she passed away or she died or she finished with her mission here on Earth. But yeah, she's gone, and I do believe that it was conscious decision because she just happened to pass away on Father's Day and our 12th wedding anniversary, and I'm kind of chuckling because that seems pretty tragic, and it certainly was at the time. But Lenée knew that I was terrible with remembering dates, so I honestly feel that she chose that date because there's no way I'm gonna ever forget that date. So this would have been our 13th wedding anniversary. Yesterday was Father's Day. I have had a pretty tough time the last few days. In this past week, I have been amazingly fortunate to have had so much love and so much support, me and the girls. It has honestly restored my faith in humanity. There's been so many people who have helped us get through this time. And I just want to express my gratitude for that and just let you guys know that you have made this year so much better than I would have ever imagined. So I woke up this morning at 3:40, and Lenée passed away at some time between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning. And I really feel like 3:40 was the time. And I used to say that I was a skeptic. I am not a skeptic anymore. Life's too short to be skeptical. And even skeptical, I was not cynical. I was just skeptical. But now it's like I have no problem believing this, believing that there's more than just what we can see, feel, hear, touch. There's more than that going on. Don't need to argue with me because I have come to this realization. So I have had not a lot of dreams about Lenée in the last year. A lot of people have told me, from my grandmother years ago and friends and family members, how they have had dreams of their departed loved ones and it's brought them comfort or just good feelings. And in spite of how hard I've worked and how much help I've had in the last year to just go through this grieving process in as positive a fashion as I can. I mean, it's the worst possible thing that could happen, I think, other than losing a child. And I've worked really hard to not just let it take me because I have to be here. I have people that need me, and so I've felt like it was my responsibility to stay strong, be here for those people. And for the most part, I have been successful. I can't believe it. But deep down inside, like I said, the last few days have been really tough for me. And most of the dreams that I have had in the last year that involve Lenée basically didn't involve Lenée. She wasn't there. She was gone. And I knew that she had left because of something that I had done. They were guilty dreams. I'm like looking for her, where is she? I'm asking the kids, have you seen your mother? I had one recently where she had gotten a job that required her to leave super early in the morning, and she was not sleeping in the bed with me, and she was not telling me when she left. And I would just wake up every morning confused and wondering where she was and why hadn't she told me goodbye. Pretty sad if I allow myself to think about it. And I've, for whatever reason, I've always had a guilty conscience. When things go wrong, my default mode was to be like, oh, what did I do wrong? Why did this happen? This is all my fault. But last night, and in the last year, I've had lots of, signs from the universe, whatever you want to call it, visitations, things about her passing that have comforted me in ways. But the dreams have been tough. But last night, right before I woke up at 3:40 a.m., I had this dream that Lenée was here and she was throwing a party in the backyard. And anybody who knows me, who's heard some of these more kind of in-depth stories that I unfortunately haven't shared here, trust me, when I have the strength to share, I will share them here, because I do want these stories to be here for my kids and other people who maybe need this type of support. But anyway, a lot of these things that have happened in the last year have been based in our backyard. And last night, Lenée's having a party in the backyard. She's throwing a party. It's a pretty wild party. Mellow, but it's like the middle of the night. Maybe the sun's coming up soon, and there's just a ton of people hanging out in our backyard, just really enjoying themselves. I just remember that was just like everybody was so happy. And at one point, I go into our bedroom because there's a window that looks out over the backyard, and I had some difficulty getting into the room. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was, I had to like duck under some stuff and I had to kind of pull some things out of the way. But I get into the room and Lenée's there. And it's like, I think it's the first time I've had a dream where she was actually there in the dream with me. And she was happy and I was happy. And she was just like, saying, hey, look, check this out. Like everybody's so happy. Everybody's having a good time. And I just looked at her and I was like, yeah, this is great. I'm happy. It's like so good to see you. I'm glad that you're happy. And, like I was in the dream trying to like go a little bit more in depth, in the conversation. I guess I was going to start asking her some questions or something, but then I just woke up. And so I didn't get to ask her the questions and go, like I like to just go in detail with stuff. So I wasn't able to do that, but I woke up with this, this really, really good feeling, like I could tell that she did not want me to be sad. She wanted me to be happy, to enjoy life, the life that I have, the rest of the life that I have. And so, yeah, I basically am making this video to tell you that man, no matter what's going on, I mean, like I said, I really couldn't imagine, other than losing one of my kids, I really couldn't imagine a worse thing to happen. We thought perfectly healthy 50-year-old woman, who went to the doctor, who worked out, who had a really great diet, could just suddenly get sick and die a month later. It's terrible, unimaginable. It's just not right. But we're still here. And I just know that we're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to take care. We're supposed to take care of each other, and we're supposed to love each other. And so that is the message that I want to give you on the anniversary of my wife, Lenée Dido, moving on to her next journey. All right. I said I wasn't going to cry, but I don't care if I cry. I'm not crying. Definitely not crying tears of sorrow. I'm crying tears of joy. And I just want to let each and every one of you know that I love you and I'm doing great. And that just happens to also be the last thing that Lenée said to us before she left. So, love you, and I'm doing good because of you.